I'm with Fazil Shaik. I've done many podcasts.
All right.
I've had many guests.
Okay.
Well, you're unique.
That's a
You've
flattery.
done something I really admire. I say that I really admire your journey and stuff, but I truly admire people that are going to leave legacy behind, learning behind, better humans behind, that are going to do things for the betterment. Fazil, welcome to the Emirates podcast,
Thank you so much.
courtesy of EurAsia Gala dinner.
That's right.
You are a very deserving winner
Thank you so much.
for being recognized Innovative in Business Excellence Award presented to Maverick Business Academy, London. First of all, tell me, how was the evening for you? How did EurAsia make you feel?
Fantastic. Thanks a lot for the lovely intro. I'm completely flattered.
I could go
Just
on.
trying to see if that is the person who you meant or is it somebody else, but I'll take that for
I
tonight.
haven't, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I don't think I've done justice to the introduction.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay.
I get goosebumps. I get touched when I see people that are going to do something that's going to help and open the doors for others.
No, alhamdulillah. And likewise, it's all about we creating the right impact for people.
Absolutely.
And nothing moves without we celebrating them. So our presence here is because of the connection that we have fostered with EurAsia almost 2-3 years back, precisely to make education accessible, borderless, inspiring and impactful. How do we take the upskilling to the CIS countries, and what kind of ecosystem that we can create, a community that can thrive on itself? Because today, learning and education, when it has become too commercial, obviously nobody is here for the love of camel and sand. But at the same time, what we need to do is we need to see and measure what kind of ROI the students are having and what kind of impact that's going to be there. And the knowledge aspect and the skill part. So we focus more on these domains. And alhamdulillah, 60 to 70% of our clients and students are successful entrepreneurs like yourself and graduates. And what I felt is a small validation of their journey goes a long way. And that creates a bridge between the industry and academia interface.
I'm going to pause you there because you just said something.
Yeah.
A bridge between the
Academic and the industry.
and the industries.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yes.
Because I see courses that have been running in universities for the last 5 years.
I understand.
And I am sure the market's not there.
Right. That's right. I mean, the business education, precisely why I think we were honored and recognized today, is it's got to be innovative, has to be more real world oriented, has to be deep rooted to people, to cultures, to sensitivity. So if you can't understand what your neighbor is going through, then there is no point of you doing a PhD and flaunting it other places.
Not at all. It's just a piece of paper.
Absolutely.
And I'm deviating a little because
Sure.
the limelight needs to be on Fazil today, on Maverick, because they own it, they deserve it, and EurAsia. For people who are actually going to go on to future, want to build a career, please question the institute you're going into, the course you're looking at. When was this course designed? Which institute is going to invite me? When I graduate, not next year, after 5 years, where is this job opportunity go? We're living in an era of changes and revolution in tech.
Absolutely.
Politically having a lot of influence. So you need to be very, very aware. So think about this institute, question this institute. And when you need a place to do your business course, come to Maverick Business School.
That's very kind of you. And that's one of the areas and element that we focus, critical reasoning, logical thinking. And because I think coming from India and Asia, even today, the curriculum and the way it's been delivered, it's a bit mundane. It's a bit, way too laid back, and we follow the same templates. And students are just studying for the heck of studying. There is studying for value with a purpose, and there is just studying because you have to finish a curriculum. So we are trying to do our maximum best in seeing, small baby steps in taken in an organic way with the help of all these lovely people, takes you to a long way. So this is the element that we understood, and We have been consistent with that, alhamdulillah. I started my journey when I was 23.
Wow.
It's 12 years now.
You've come a long way. That's a long journey, but you've to where it is now.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And I've always felt that youngsters today, they need an emotional drive, not materialistic drive. Luxury.
I think we have enough of that in the world. I think we have enough of that in the world.
So luxury is not found in your watches or in your yachts or in your super houses, but luxury is found in relationships like this.
Absolutely.
Laughter like this, your parents being alive and celebrating them. So these are the tender moments that we need to instill along with education, morals and values that takes them in a long way. So when I started my journey, I was 18 years old, and after I finished my high school, I was committed that if I'm going to be here and doing my higher education, it has to be on my own merit and on my own earnings. And once you put the intent, Almighty has a habit of making it true. So the run and the sprint started from that time. I worked 3 years with HSBC and 1 year with Frankfurt Institute. And then I said, okay, why don't we just take the risk? And I always felt that no risk, no risk.
Perfect. Well said.
And it's very important. You need to have your why part cleared. Why are you doing the business? Is it just for a title, or is it just for a sort of pride that you need amongst your circle? Every youngster should have an emotional drive and should also have a clear-cut understanding of the problems they're going to solve.
I think the youngsters nowadays, they're very much alert.
Yeah.
Even when I talk to my son, he's not conscious about wearing a brand, but he's conscious about the cause it's going to have. What item of clothing is going to be in his wardrobe? Who's the person behind it? Where is the money going? How is he going to be perceived? I was like, wow, we didn't do any of that.
We didn't do any of this, yeah.
Look, another thing you said is really, really important. I have to pick up on this. People use, handful of people in the world saying that, look, they never had an education. They dropped out. You did well. They've done more building and business. But have they really done building individuals? I'm not criticizing anybody, but what I want to say here is very important. Education shapes you, makes you, and aligns you.
That's right.
How you turn out to be a person and what you deliver, that makes the difference.
Absolutely.
Every dog on the street can go and get money, but it needs a man to hold that money and to build everything around you.
Absolutely.
So education is very, very important. Yes, you can go on. It's luck. Some people have done it. Hard work pays off. You do need education because that levels out the playing ground for you.
Absolutely. I think from the time you're born, from the cradle to your grave, knowledge and upskilling is a must. We always believe that.
It's in our religion, right?
Alhamdulillah, yes, it does. And we always tell our students that, even our entrepreneurs and businessmen, what you seek in the classroom is just 10%. The 90% is outside. And how we leverage that and manifest with what you need to do and building your network around you, because your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
And it's important that the youngsters, they understand this mechanism and seek knowledge from wherever they get from without being judgmental.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coming back to EurAsia, you said that you've been involved with them for almost 3 years.
That's right.
What have you seen in terms of the way they organize, the kind of people they bring, the events they have?
I mean, what I love about them is they're very passionate people. Very passionate people. I mean, there are so many networking events and organizations that I'm part of, or I get emails on a daily basis. But I selectively position myself with very few, and EurAsia is right up there.
They come and do podcast in my studio.
Right.
We've had a short journey, but I just look at them, and it reminds me of the days of my father. The guest is so important.
Absolutely.
How they treat people when they meet someone, how they greet them.
Absolutely.
It just wakes you up that, come on, we need to do a BTS
Yeah.
of these and play to the Gen Zs. I'm not saying Gen Zs, but Gen Zs are getting driven by everything, all the nonsense they're seeing on TV and stuff.
Absolutely. A lot
Right,
of
so
passive information is being consumed.
And it's not the wrong information. What it is, it's just that clickbait information that's been played out
Clickbait,
to them.
yes.
And they think that this is the right thing to do, but they don't know the full story.
No.
But when I see the EurAsia team, they come in there, and doesn't matter even if they're ambassadors coming in, and the way they treat you, and it's
Beautiful.
it's like, wow.
I wanted to highlight that same point. I mean, they will have ambassadors from 5-6 nations from different countries, and I've been part of their breakfast meets and business lunches. Extraordinary people.
Yeah.
And it's not about you doing business the very next day with them, but just looking up at them and you learn from them. An ambassador's body language when they speak about strategy and international policies and how they meet with other country heads. It's like a PhD for me itself already.
It's learning. The funniest thing for me is they came into the podcast, and I was waiting downstairs below my building, and a gentleman walked in. I won't take the name, and he came directly from the airport. Nawar wasn't there. It just happens I standing there. I looked at him and I knew he's the ambassador.
Okay.
Their meeting was at 10 o'clock. This is at 8:30, right? And he was that early. And we sat there. We had to happen to talk. Next day, he rang me and he said, Dil, how are you for meeting me in this place? I was like, he's an ambassador. What is he doing? Ringing me on a Saturday at that time. And when I met him, he was so down to earth. And he was like, okay, this is what happens. You see a human side when you actually network with people. Yeah. Because when we get into this entrepreneur world, we're a bit lost, right?
Absolutely.
It's
a bit hazy, and you need these, infrastructure that builds you, that builds your thoughts, that makes you think, that nourishes your entire journey with the right people contributing. You may never know who would be needed in your journey. And another thing that I would love to highlight about them is they will not leave you unattended, no matter if you're there in the corner hiding as well. Nawar or Osama, they'll come running and they will take you to the limelight and introduce you. And that's a beautiful part.
I can't remember her name. She was presenting today. She's the presenter. What's her name?
I think Aliana.
I
think so.
I had a WhatsApp conversation with Aliana, and she left me for dust. Just the way she emphasizes on things, how she thanks you for the little things you do. I was like, what have I done for you? And she was so appreciative. The Nawar runs around. Then Victor.
Absolutely.
And they're not anybody, right? They're
all highly well-established
very
people.
well-established individuals. And it's like, why do you give me the respect in the way you do?
See, that is what I think there is a huge difference between being service-oriented and then being service excellence-oriented. Service anybody can give, but service excellence is something that very rare people do.
Very rare. And I get that. When they come in, I mean, we had at one point, without any notice, I think 5 ambassadors stood up. I was like, huh? And when they told me, I was like...
So your podcast is getting famous, isn't it?
Thanks to people like you. Yeah, so I was like, okay, it's really, really good. Look, this is, in short all, there are a lot of networking events.
Yeah.
You can do everything. You can make a lot of money, but you can't make time.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important that we be very selective.
Yeah.
And we know, how you said, the people that we surround ourselves with.
Right.
The network events that we happen. Who's running them? If you go to, I don't get paid for this by EurAsia. If you go to EurAsia, just look at the board members. You'll see the diversified
wealth of experience. Yeah.
Wealth of experience they bring, and that's what opens. And the connections, you've seen the guests and the dignitaries that are in the room. I've been trying to get into Sharjah. And it was like, tomorrow. Because of EurAsia today, I met the perfect gentleman. It's like, come in. I'm doing this. When can you do it? When can you start? Beautiful. Take my number. I was like, Your His Highness, Your Excellency, you're going to give me your number? So I was hesitant to pull my phone out. I was like, take my number. Yeah. Like, wow, this is what happens in Dubai, and this is what happens in EurAsia.
And the same thing I was just telling my teammate, Miss Wrinkle. She handles our global operations, lovely lady. And I was just telling her, we have been trying to meet this gentleman, His Excellency, for the last 1.5 to 2 years. Obviously, everybody has their commitments and we all are traveling in our own path. And today, when we were recognized and when he just came to us
He
when he
shook
was
hands with you. I
finishing.
saw you. He got up and shook
You
hands
saw
with
that.
you. I'm talking about the same gentleman.
Exactly. And I was like,
Yeah.
sir, thank you. I mean, I look up to you as an inspiration.
Yeah, and he walked towards you.
Worked, and that was like, okay, something I felt that we are doing something right.
Yeah.
For
Well,
the people.
I feel great, and I feel that I'm doing something right when I get people like you.
Oh
Honestly, it's like heartwarming. If I can do anything and have this kind of conversation, and if people are watching it, and if you get any benefit from it, that will be my biggest achievement.
Absolutely. And you're doing a great job.
And
You
I
show
can say,
knowledge
if I
sharing.
want to earn money, I can go and earn money. Believe me. My chase isn't money. I need money. I'll be lying to you if I said I didn't. But the satisfaction I get from this, money can't give me.
It just puts you on a different spectrum altogether.
Money can't give me. So for me, it's been a humbling experience. Absolute pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure,
I
sir.
love
Likewise.
what you have done in the time you've done it. And I don't know what this to be a last conversation. I am going to invite you into Emirates Podcast. I've got something amazing for the education industry. It's a pod show, not a
Pod show,
podcast.
okay.
So we have you and we have a live audience.
That'll be fantastic.
So that could be teachers that want to challenge you, lecturers. That could be people coming to this country. That could be institutes wanting to develop their organization.
Absolutely.
So I identify an audience and we're very selective as to who sits in that room.
I think that is absolutely fantastic, and I really look forward to that. And on a parting note, I also say I want to make sure that the youngsters who are watching this, education is all about building your character right, your morals right.
Absolutely.
And as you grow and because it's a disruptive era, your skills, yes, important, but it's all about being consistent and get the job done. Just get the job done.
So one of my earlier guests said, one thing people say do in Dubai, they don't just talk about it. They do it. And for
just get the job
those
done.
who are actually starting business now,
Tell me.
you're getting so caught up on all this, the online world. It's very much needed. But I'll tell you what's more, handshakes.
Absolutely.
Handshakes. Because switch of a button, your online will go. But when you do a shake with a palm to palm, when you meet a person eye to eye, that you build for life. And it's very important.
These authentic connections,
You can't beat them.
you can't replace them.
You can't replace them.
And they go a long way. And I feel that today's upcoming entrepreneurs should be extremely service excellence oriented, and I think that is, and obviously they have to be compassionate.
Yeah, I was on
That's more important.
I was on a talk show the other day, and they said, "Do you think AI is going to take your job?" I said, "No, my son will." And they looked at me like, "What?" I said, "Look, my son will take my job. The reason being is because he's more AI savvy. He's challenging and questioning AI.
That's right.
The ones that practice and learn in AI, they can utilize AI.
Absolutely.
AI is going to take nobody's job."
That's what we just, as a part of our Maverick masterclasses, every month we bring in new trends, new industry veterans and experts. And I think last month we had on AI and data science, prompt engineering.
So we're bringing one is AI, crypto, Web3, and Bitcoin.
Amazing.
So it's going to be 2 programs a month, and we're gonna bring on a guest who's actually from that world, and we're gonna have an audience no more than 40 in our studio.
That's beautiful.
And I'm going to talk to him about his journey. Then people get to interact about him with
That's
him.
right.
Then they get to pitch for 10 minutes a business or idea or your product.
Why not?
You can pitch it free for 5 minutes, not 10 minutes. Don't quote me. 10 minutes. So let's see. I'm definitely.
What you're doing is phenomenal. I wish you continuous success.
Thank you very much.
May you
Means a
be
lot
the
to me.
inspiration to many as well. And because this is real-time authentic knowledge sharing.
It is.
And, your colleague, I was just walking towards my car and she said, okay, there's a Mr. Podcast with Mr. Dil. I'm like, okay, I'm interested to see him. And here we are talking about anything under the roof.
She's good.
And,
Amara,
yeah, you have a great team as well.
yeah,
And
she supports me a lot.
yeah, it's all about we taking care of our people. People will take care of the system. System takes care of the business. And you continue doing the great work, which is serving the people.
And that's what EurAsia is doing, and that's what we want to do. So from my side, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Absolute
Mr. Dil.
pleasure. This conversation has ended my night beautifully. It's been a long week.
I'm so
it's been
glad
a
that
long
I
week.
could be a part of
I'm
that.
really glad that I turned up to EurAsia today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.